7 weeks out from the Olympia. Good morning, everyone, or maybe good evening if you're in some other part of the world. So just got up, did my update photos, and today's a big day because it might be the day that I move back the other way. As far as I've been letting weight go up, I was 239 this morning, about the same as last week. However, my GI was kind of heavier last week and legs were heavier. So I think this is a weight increase, even though it's the same scale weight. But anyway, this is a determinant today of if I should be pulling back down for the Olympia, pulling a little bit of fat off that is left. There's not a lot, but I do want to go slow and also make sure I'm ready about 2 weeks ahead to drop off any fatigue that's there, and also just the peace of mind of being ready ahead, because it is the Olympia, so a big stress piece would be really good being peeled out, and it's easier for me to hold that. But anyway, I took my photos, but I thought today that we would go through a day of eating for what I've been doing for my highest food that has been during this multi-show period where I really think I could say I've been growing into this show. So what do I eat for a day to grow into the show? Kind of clickbaity title, but I thought we'd go through this diet today, show you at the end of the day, probably afternoon after I train, we'll look at these photos and actually decide, should I pull back down or not? So let's get meal one going. Meal one, finally, it's prepared. No, actually, this is like my fastest meal to prep. And we got these really cool new flat plates, but they have a lip. It's actually a pasta dish, which is, I hate a rounded plate because it's hard to push food up against it, right, to get the rest out. So these have been awesome off of Amazon that Renee got. Anyway, this meal's pretty quick. It's first meal of the day. Just do some frozen asparagus. So that's easy to microwave. I have some pre-cooked chicken I could throw in, 90 grams of chicken. It's like 75 grams of asparagus. I have my J3U, a little mini rice cooker. Sean Vasquez with Pride Foods gifted it to me, which this thing has been, it's a beast. I think Hunter Labrada actually has the same one too. His is all dinted up, and so's mine, because I actually travel with mine when I go to shows. But it's perfect. You can cook like 3 cups of rice. So every day I'll make it the night before, and I always have fresh rice the entire day. So that's easy just to scoop in 230 grams of rice. Then there's nothing like some runny over easy eggs on top of your rice. And then I'll also use Melinda's black truffle hot sauce, which is money, but I am weighing out like all of my condiments. So I track in Chronometer, which is the best app that I've used for tracking food, but that way I know where all my sodium intake is and it's standardized. And then I also will do 2 rice cakes with this meal, simply to top. I could do more rice, but I like it to like top some of this stuff on and eat it like a crispy, I don't know, bagel thing that's not a bagel. Anyway, this is meal one. It's right at 670 calories, 50 grams of protein, 80 grams of carbs, and 15 grams of fat. I had this meal about 45 minutes after I've been up, so I usually get up. I've been on a green tea kick, which I haven't had coffee in, I think, about 10 days. I don't know, I just started liking green tea. So I'll make some green tea, have that, and about 25 ounces of fluids. I'll walk my walking pad and work, so I get about 4,500 steps in during that time. Then I come have meal one. Of course, with this meal, I do have a scoop of animal pack, and then also have all my morning subs, my animal omega. That is meal one. All right, guys, so meal number two, about to head to the gym. This will be my pre-workout meal. So I'm cooking my oats, and as that's cooking, I'm packing up even meal 3 because I cooked that one at the gym. So this meal is gonna be 40 grams of oats. I've had oats pre-workout for a while. And what I've done, once I got to an amount of like kind of meeting fiber intake for the day, I haven't increased it. So I just add rice into this oatmeal. So it's like cook the oats first, let it cool down, then mix in 50 grams of frosted cinnamon bun Animal Way. And then I put the rice in and mix that with 30 grams of raisins. Raisins are an underrated source for when you get a fruit serving. Also, they're really low fiber, so it's not cause like bloating or really slow down digestion much. Even the oats, I feel like this combo gives me like some steady fueling during training and no bloating. And so that's like the nice mix with it. But yeah, definitely raisins are underrated. Dates are another good one if you're having like higher carb amounts, because this is about 125 grams of carbs, 50 grams of protein. It's pretty low fat. I think I don't have my numbers right in front of me. I think it's like 7 grams of fat total for everything. So anyway, don't worry about like a little bit of fiber and fats pre-workout. It's not going to be impacting as far as like protein kinetics and all these things. So, but while this is cooling, I start packing up my post-workout. So I have my little Tupperwares for my whey and my intra-workout. So I just go in the pantry and like grab all my stuff to bring it out to pack up. One thing that also goes in my oats, I do add some cinnamon for flavor. And then I am doing, and all my meals get some degree of salt. I didn't show you that in meal 1, but I do half a teaspoon of salt in my pre and my post meal, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in my intra. So right now I get about 8 grams of sodium total per day. That's through everything: salt, condiments, what's intrinsic in food. And so I can keep that really consistent, which is great in prep because you won't have these fluctuations in water, which allows your assessment to be very consistent, which is a big thing. If you're having like macro matching and you're moving in sodium or different condiments because you're changing food sources and you want to use this sauce instead of that sauce, that you wake up on check-in day and your weight's up, you're like, what's happening? Like, is it water? Is it fat? Am I stalling? So juiced aminos, have some aminos intra, probably have plenty of protein present, but these give a great flavor. This is a fruit punch while I train. And I add this into my total protein intake. It absolutely counts. Even aminos are calories. So I do 15 grams of aminos during, and mind you, I train for like, it's about a 2-hour block of time. So I think it is justified. I just have some maltodextrin powder. This will be 15 grams of maltodextrin, and then I do 15 grams of dextrose. So these are just bulk powder supplied into workout. That goes there. All right, next, collapsible Tupperware, super cool, off Amazon. I hate big Tupperwares, they take up way too much space. We will again pack 50 grams of frosted, not what I wanted to do either. Here I'm trying to talk to you and I'm messing this all up. Packing cream of rice. So doing rice and grinds, cream of rice. I do a mix because some of the flavors I think are, some of them can be like too sweet mixed in with whey. So just use the rest. That's 67 grams of unflavored. And one that I can do more of, and it goes really good with the frosted cinnamon bun, is their brown sugar and cinnamon. So it's like a brown sugar cinnamon bun. So we're gonna do 130 grams total of cream of rice for our post. And I cook this at the gym. So I have it nice and hot right away, which some people might like. Renee likes it cold. I get it. What's cool is that my little Tupperware fits right inside my big Tupperware, and I can put my whey in that. So now I'll do the whey, 50 grams, and I also get a little cinnamon there, and my salt. All right, my last thing is that I stick this back in the microwave, and what happens, I don't know if you see it, it's like a little bit kind of cooked around the edges, so it's like has more of a cakier texture around the outside, but the inside's still runny. I don't know, turns out really good. You know, when you're prepping, you have weird ways of your cooking process. And my last thing to mention, I do one small Rice Krispie treat. It's my treat, and 17 grams of carbs. So this keeps this meal like, it's a lot of carbs I have for this meal, but it keeps it pretty condensed rather than just doing more rice. But hey, if I have something I can enjoy, why not? Big picture, my total sugar intake is very low throughout the day. But anyway, put this down and we will head to the gym.
Right, post-workout, had a push day today. Awesome workout. Nothing hurts, which is number one when you're, I'm not gonna date myself, fuck that. No. Number one is just moving the logbook, right? Getting a huge pump, that's number one. But anyway, that all happened, like strength's progressing up still in this phase, like food's been higher, with my body weight moving up, like I'm absolutely growing into this Olympia. Really excited to see that. It's encouraging of what could I be my best at for the Olympia. But anyway, post-workout's done. Again, I cooked this in the microwave at the gym, 130 grams of cream of rice like we talked about earlier. One thing I didn't mention was I do have 40 grams of banana. I put it all, mix it all together, and I microwave it for 1 extra minute. And just like my oatmeal, it gets kind of cakey along the sides, which is just a fun texture to have. So this is about 120 grams of carbs, 50 grams of protein. It's low fat, 2 grams of fat. Eat this safely on the way home and then get some work in.
All right, so back from the gym, had some meals in, and like I mentioned earlier, we're gonna look at my photos and decide if I should be dropping food and pulling down to the Olympia, losing a little fat, which is what's left, or holding here for another week. So what I did this morning was I had my fasted shots, and I also took some in my closet, which I normally do, and then also outside, and to compare back to when I was 1 week out from Vancouver. So what you can look at here on the screen is a few shots that I really like, is like a most muscular, a rear double, and then also usually like a side chest or side tri to really gauge condition and muscularity. So what you're seeing is the fasted shots compared 1 week out from Toronto. This was when I was like 229, and versus where we're at here from Olympia, about 7 weeks out, 6.5 weeks out, at 239. And so like right away, like for when the lighting's a little brighter on the right pic, but so it washes me out a touch. But either way, I think the sharpness is pretty close, maybe a little bit more to come off the quads. But also considering I'd already backed off training a bit on the picture on the left. My last quad session was a deload, and I smashed legs before these. So I think they're blurred more from training. But either way, I think we can see the size increase, which is really cool. All through like chest, arms, and definitely my legs are just a ton bigger. Let's go to the rear double bicep, and this shot's improved a lot too. And actually, like my glute lines look even deeper. I think it's more of like a fullness thing, and the glutes are pushing against the skin. But from a conditioning standpoint, it's very, very close. This was a week out from Vancouver, and so we have like 6 weeks left to go for Olympia. We looked at the side tri, and very, very comparable condition-wise too. Now, what I want to do is get outside. So I get out by my garage, and it's all natural daylight. So I think it shows a bit more of the detail and like skin texture, a bit more. And when I say skin texture, it's more like, are you getting that grainy level of condition? So here's the most muscular taken outside, same days comparison. And I think you see the visual actual increase in size and the condition change from that. On the picture on the right, you can see there's more detail and striations and fullness just in my chest and my delts. And then the size increase of my legs is very, very pronounced. And I think with pretty much the same detail in my waist. But that's what I've been pounding, man, is like quads. And so like, especially that left leg, that's a leg that I've had an issue with. And, you know, training it first, doing my single leg work, I think has really improved it. You can see like the quad sweep on that leg has changed so much. Like it's cool to see it improve. And then we can look at my rear double. And posing's a little different, so be considerate of that. However, just like the lat thickness, like from the erectors out, is very pronounced. I think it shows more like that lower trap to lat separation because I'm just much fuller.
So like the size is there, but I mean, if you look at the hamstrings and glutes, like they're still dug out. So should I cut down? Well, gosh, this was a week out. So I think I still have some time left. So what we're gonna do this week is we're gonna keep the plan the same. On average, body weight's been moving up. It's a little slower now, but I think that's okay. As the gym progressions are getting a little slower too. If this was off season, it's probably be the time to maybe make a slight food increase starting next week. But for now, I'll just keep the same diet and ride it out for one more week, and then repeat this same process next week and go from there.
All right, meal 4 is happening. Just worked for a little bit. I'm gonna tell you what is in this meal, my macro-wise. So this is gonna be 70 grams of carbs, 50 grams of protein, and 5 grams of fat. It's one of my faster meals that I prep because it's all pretty much pre-made. So I have my rice cooker already going. We throw chicken in the air fryer right when we get home from the gym. We go green beans this meal, do 75 grams. Frozen veggies are awesome because they're a keep for a long time and they're easy. Just microwave them for a minute. All right. This meal, wow, like I do so little protein, I feel like it's 320 grams total for the day, but I have actual meats. I don't have a lot of meat that I actually do. But this meal I do 120 grams of chicken and 70 grams of yogurt, so I get some protein from the yogurt. And we're out of blueberries, that's my normal. Just subbing it out for peaches today, which Chronometer is great. So we can just scan a bag and find the macros. And we're doing 100 grams of peaches. I'm gonna show y'all something that I found that was fun. In Walmart, I don't know when I'm gonna have these, but we live by the Gulf of Mexico in Texas, so they're wild Gulf shrimp, but I love shrimp. I could eat them every day. However, these are already deveined, they're pre-cooked, you just warm them up, so it's great, but be careful when you pick your shrimp because they will add a lot of sodium in it for preservative, which you could have, this one's 23 grams of protein for 4 ounces, but the other bag I found was 800 milligrams of sodium. So if you're trying to be consistent and not blow up with water, you could easily add in 2 grams of sodium if you're doing, 8 ounces of shrimp. So this one only has 170 milligrams. So be mindful if you're ever grabbing like pre-cooked chicken or shrimp for prep, seeing people do that and they switch to pre-cooked chicken, they add a lot of sodium in. My chicken, let's get over to the air fryer. Air fryer is awesome. We cut them into little chicken nuggets, pieces, and seasoning is McCormick Smokehouse Maple. It's my favorite, been using it for years and I haven't got burnt out. So I like these green beans, but they're like kind of long to like mix in. So scissors is the kitchen tool for success. And then just do my 100 grams of chicken. And last thing, head to the rice cooker. And this meal gets 180 grams of rice. Like I said, fresh rice all day long. Do our 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And condiments of choice, Dijon mustard, 5 grams, Cholula, chili garlic, 10 grams. They've been out of my sweet habanero. That's my favorite one, but now chili garlic's growing on me, so. Right, that's meal 4. This is my workflow time, so I like this meal. It's already pre-cooked, just throw stuff in a bowl and eat, and I get right back to working. And then next, we'll be looking at my picks and deciding, should I actually diet and drop food down, or just keep growing another week into this show? Renee's like with the camera, like rolling her eyes because she knows how lean I am and that I should just probably hold off a little bit, but we'll see. Meal number 5, work is done for the day. So this is one of our meals where we just chill out and start watching a movie, which we might start all the Predator movies, which it starts with Prey, which is a great one. So we might be watching that tonight, but this meal goes in 2 phases. So I do salad. It's 100 grams of lettuce and then has tomato and onion. For my dressing, it's some yogurt, G. Hughes Polynesian was excellent, and then some Dijon mustard, salt, pepper, and 1 stevia. And then I also have fiber tortilla. And what Renee and I did last night was I've been doing seared ahi on the grill. This is my dad's fillet knife. It's been passed down to Jewett history, but the tip is missing, but it's our sharpest knife that we have. I'm gonna finish this ahi tuna, which is 95 grams left. And isn't that beautiful? Anyway, then I'll do the rest in chicken and just throw it in my salad. And this meal also has 35 grams of rice. I know it's a small amount because my second course is, if you've watched any of my eating in the day, this stuff hasn't changed. I do 4 plain rice cakes, and I have this naked PB powder, which it's just peanut butter powder, but you can really lower the fats in it. I'll do 20 grams of that and spread it on the rice cakes, and then use 15 grams of cranberries spread on top. And it's kind of like my dessert after this meal, but it's just a fun snack anyway. So this meal altogether, 63 grams of protein, 70 grams of carbs, and 11 grams of fat. We're gonna chill out on the couch and watch our movie. All right, we're on intermission right now, and we are watching, you can see it behind me, which is really cool. So we're gonna watch all the Predator series in chronological order and then rank them. We'll put them on our stories. But anyway, we got these cool lights behind the TV off Amazon for like 20 bucks, which Renee and I, we're such movie buffs, but it's really changed the viewing experience. Very cool, would highly recommend it. Very easy to put up as well. But anyway, for intermission, I come and get my last meal, which is my cranberries and rice cakes. Then also, I do an Earl Grey decaf tea. Oh yeah, you can check out my Olympia shirt soon to come. What do you think, Renee?
I love it. I think it's great.
So those will be probably by, I don't know when this video is out, it's probably coming right at the time. If it's available, I'll put it in the link below. But either way, if you go to j3university.com, click on merch, what did it say, merch at the top, or sure. It shirts, or I don't know, something like that. you can order one, and we'll love it just to support me at the Olympia. We have most muscular and an ab and thigh on there, so get yourself a shirt when that's coming out soon. But I'm gonna put down my rice cake snacks and watch the rest of the movie. Then I will be on to my last meal of the night. All right, the movie is over. Prey was awesome. I already know it's gonna be one of my favorites, but anyway, meal 6. Probably hear their Ninja Creamy going in the background. So this is where I start prepping everything for the next day, while the creamy's spinning and Renee uses the air fryer for her brownie. I'm waiting for that to get done, but I start packing up my pills too for the next day. A few things, like I use Merrick Health for all my wellness aspects, health aspects. So like I'll have like their pregnenolone, which if you haven't gotten lab work done to test your pregnenolone levels, it's one of the like upstream hormones where cholesterol is converted into pregnenolone, which goes all downstream to a lot of different hormones. And one that was really low on me was pregnenolone. And pregnenolone converts to allopregnenolone, which is a neurosteroid. You have low levels of allopregnenolone, can affect cognitive function, affect your sleep. If you're using a steroid, it can down-regulate your upstream hormones. So you likely have very low pregnenolone if you're using anabolic steroids. So it would be wise to have that one tested. But Merrick Health, you can look in my description, my caption. I have links to labs, and my code is J3U, but I have pregnenolone from them, I have my telmisartan, my metformin from them, so start packing all those up for tomorrow and getting things ready. Other things, we have all of our rice that I'll prep to. So on my rice, we'll have that cook overnight, so that'll be ready again, which you already saw, why I have fresh rice all day long. All right, that's it. This is meal 6, the last meal of the night. So this is my Ninja Creamy, which I'm sure all of you that watch all have Ninja Creamies now, and spinning away. So this meal, macro-wise, it's 58 grams of protein, 61 grams of carbs, 13 grams of fat, and so what we total up for the day is 3,900 calories, 320 grams of protein, 540 grams of carbs, and 50 grams of fat. This is a training day diet. My non-train diet is at 275 grams of carbs. Protein, fats are the same. So this meal though, I do 50 grams of oats. There's 70 grams of whey. Part of that goes into my Ninja Creamy with 240 mils of unsweetened cashew milk and 2 packets of stevia to make my Ninja Creamy. And then this brownie oat cake, if you go to Renee's YouTube, she's posting all the recipes, so check out her page. But this brownie cake, whatever you want to call it, is on there. But it's 50 grams of oat powder, 30 grams of pumpkin, has the other half of whey in it, 20 grams of egg white, 2 packets of stevia as well, and 10 grams of peanut butter. Then I have 30 grams of banana on top. I know, what an elaborate concoction. And I do use some of this, got it at Walmart. It's skinny mixes. Hopefully I'm getting nice and skinny in the waist. Salted caramel on top, that's really good. And a little bit of the Hershey's Zero Sugar around it. Not a lot, but just a little bit. Don't judge me. So that wraps up what I eat in a day, and hope you enjoyed. If you want to know like more details like of my exact training that I run, my exact supplements, my PEDs, all the details of the diet laid out, what's changing, check out the J3U forum. I post there every single day and answer any questions that you would want. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you on the next video.